Welcome to Seeds of Thought. There is a moment no one prepares you for. It doesn't feel dramatic. It doesn't feel final. It feels like the story you were telling yourself stops working. Not the plan, the story. The story that said, I've got time. I know what I'm doing. I'll get back to it. Collapse is the moment that story loses credibility. So you may be asking, what actually falls apart? When people say they collapsed, they usually mean something external. A routine broke, a streak ended, momentum disappeared. But what really collapsed was internal. The explanation stopped convincing you. You can't say, this is fine anymore. You can't say, I'll fix it later with the same confidence. Collapse is when self-deception fails. Now things start to feel uncomfortable. As long as the story works, you're protected. Protected from urgency, protected from clarity, protected from choice. Collapse removes that protection. You're still in the same life. Well, but now you can see it clearly. And that's what hurts. Because collapse carries grief. Not grief for what you lost, grief for what you thought was still possible without change. The future you were postponing can no longer be postponed comfortably. And that's heavy. And this is where most people panic. Most people don't fear failure. They fear seeing themselves honestly. Collapse forces honesty, and honesty removes delay. So people rush to rebuild a story, any story, just to avoid the stare down. The moments of collapse isn't all bad. In fact, it is often a door to something greater. And here's why. Collapse removes noise. No motivation speeches work. No planning feels satisfying. No distraction takes over. That emptiness isn't punishment. It's space. And space is where truth can enter. But here is where you need to understand the difference between pain and clarity. Pain asks you to escape. Clarity asks you to stay. Collapse is not pain. It's clarity without cushioning. And clarity always feels harsh at first. But clarity causes you to start noticing things you couldn't before. How long you've been repeating the same explanations. How familiar your justifications sound. How little surprise there is in your days. This isn't shame. It's recognition. So here is why this moment can't be rushed. If you rush out of collapse, you take the old story with you. And the old story recreates the old life. Collapse must be lived through, not fixed. So be careful how you interpret this moment. Misinterpretation causes people to say things like, I hit rock bottom. But collapse isn't bottom, it's exposure. Bottom implies you fell. Collapse means the cover came off. And in this moment, everything becomes quiet. There's no adrenaline here, no urgency, no excitement, just awareness. That quiet is not emptiness, it's honesty without performance. And after collapse, one thing changes forever. You can't unknow what you've seen. You can't pretend as easily. You can't lie as smoothly. The door closes behind you. As long as self-deception works, nothing changes. Collapse removes false comfort. That's not cruelty. That's mercy. Now real responsibility begins. Not responsibility to do something, responsibility to stop pretending. Collapse is when life says, now you know. This video isn't rushing you forward. It's guarding this moment. Because if you escape too quickly, you'll rebuild the same future. So here's the last thing to understand. Collapse is not weakness. It's the end of fantasy. And fantasy is what kept you stuck. If you're in collapse right now, don't narrate it. Don't label it. Don't try to fix it. Just stay honest longer than you ever have before. Because collapse isn't where you broke. It's where you finally stopped lying to yourself.